Hey guys, still there. Let's have a look at the Starship. And let's just be honest, the thing actually looks like a Starship. It's a version of the M60 that fires both heat rounds, ATGMs and HE rounds. And you can find it at Tier 4 currently in Armored Warfare. Now, it's a wolfly lined vehicle. And as mentioned, it's an M60 variant. So instead of having a longer range or a longer rifled gun, or sorry, let's say a longer barrel, it actually has a shorter, higher caliber barrel that can also fire ATGMs. Lower down the tree you're going to find the M60A3, the XM1 and the rest of the Abrams line, with the Abrams M1A2 SEPV2 coming soon at Tier 10. So maybe by the time that you're actually watching this video, the vehicle has already been introduced. Now the Starship is a weird vehicle. And by weird I don't mean just the looks of it. Whereas most vehicles of this tier, at least the main battle tanks, pack a gun that is somewhere along the ranges of a 105mm gun, this thing actually has a 152mm gun on it. My main ammunition for this type, and that's because I mostly used it in PvE, not so much PvP, is heat rounds. These have a lot of damage, 508. The penetration of 309 is enough to penetrate most vehicles that are going up against it. The only thing that I've found harder to penetrate is vehicles such as the T-64. Those things have quite a bit of defenses against these rounds. You can also fire HE rounds, and if you really have a target that you cannot penetrate, you can switch to the Schiller-like ATGM. It has a lot of penetration, 450, but its rate of fire is pretty bad at 4.2, which means long aim time, long reload time, and a missile flying only at 200 meters per second, which means that your target, depending on the range, usually has plenty of time to get the hell out of the way and make sure you miss with this target, or with this missile. Other stats, the damage is decent, but it's nowhere near an armored fighting vehicle, of course. But you're trading that for having quite a bit of defenses. It has a decent amount of hit points. It's not particularly fast, but at least it's no challenger. Challengers are slower even. Max speed of 48.6 is it's pretty slow, but so are most vehicles at this tier. Camouflage, well hey, we're a main battle tank, what do you expect? It's 0.05. People are going to see this thing coming a mile away, and then some. Vision range at 412 is okay for a main battle tank, and I don't have any modifiers which make that view range better or worse. Gun depression at minus 10 degrees is pretty good, but the problem is that even if you are at a, let's say a sand dune in the desert, you're trying to get your gun down to use the depression, you still have this huge commander's cupola on top of it. CloakingDonkey called it the commander's cathedral, and it's a term that I gladly adopt from him, because this thing is huge, and this more often than not takes full damage, or at least a lot of damage as it's getting shot. It's not armored. No matter where you aim at this thing, it's going to take a lot of damage, so try and do a sort of peekaboo with this thing, which means that ATGMs are out of the question. But the longer you expose yourself, the more likely it is for enemy units to start shooting that cupola. Other than that, reload time at 11 seconds. Well, it's a pretty large caliber gun, so the shells are going to be pretty big. These heat rounds take, at least in my setup, 11.06 seconds to reload, which is quite long for a main battle tank. I think that the T-64 has a better rate of fire. Yeah, its reload's only 8.5 seconds. So do not be trading with the T-64, especially since your heat rounds are going to have trouble penetrating the T-64, whereas the T-64 will have no problem penetrating your commander's cupola and firing heat at it. So don't go trading shots with him. Targeting time at 2.3 seconds, or let's say 2.4, is okay. But I believe it's down to having some of the retrofits installed. For the upgrade tree, you don't have that many upgrades available for this vehicle. You have an armor retrofit slot, no armor upgrades itself, no appliques, no ERA, nothing. One fire retrofit slot coming off the HE shell. You got an upgrade for your HGM. No upgraded engine, no upgraded technology. You can unlock a few credit packages, a portrait, and the Star Captain tag, which you can adjust right there where it says your username. And you can change that into whatever titles you have unlocked. I think it's a bit of a gimmick. I don't really see the advantage of it. The way that I have this thing equipped is, as I mentioned, mostly for PvE warfare. That means I'm firing a lot of heat rounds. So I carry 23 heat rounds, a couple of HE in case I get into PvP and find myself against a target that I have trouble penetrating. And HGMs, since these things are in a separate pool. They are pool 2 weapons, which means they have a sort of separate stack. You don't have to share these with the other loadout. The thing I just noticed is that I don't have the best HGM installed, so let's quickly change that. I believe I do have... no, I don't even have the best heat round installed. Wow, I'm really skipping out on this one. And the same goes for the HE. I guess I never bothered to adjust the ammo on this one. Anyway, retrofits. I'm using the experimental propellant to do a bit more damage, and the damage with these heat rounds quickly adds up. You can do a lot of damage with these weapons. Internal hull reinforcement, 10% more hit points, always nice to have. And the gyroscopic stabilizers are helping me with reload and aim time. Without the aim time mod, you're looking at an aim time of somewhere along the lines of 2.7 seconds, which, considering you have a huge weak spot, is, as far as I'm concerned, too long. I don't want to be sitting out there for so long taking damage. So I'm going to quickly pop out, do damage, pop back in. Consumables, I'm using the expensive stuff, and so long as you don't actually use these in a battle, so long as you, let's say, don't use the medical kit, you're still going to get the passive bonuses, but not the price tag of it. And of course for PvE, mid-tier field maintenance kit. Now the armor on the Starship isn't bad, but it's not stellar. Frontal hull armor of 100 times a modifier of 1 all round. Again, no armor packages, no composite armor, no ERA, nothing. So just a times 1 modifier. So what you actually see here is what you actually get. Turret front is pretty heavily armored. So if you're looking at the turret front like this, the turret front itself is good. But this thing does not include the turret front armor. So again, it may say that you have 292 frontal armor, but taking this thing into PvP means that that armor is virtually useless, because people are going to shoot that Commander's Cathedral anyway. Other sides, side armor 74 and 121. That means that pretty much any shell is going to go right through the side of your armor and your turret. And of course the rear armor, 36 and 64. If you're an autocannon wielding vehicle, you want to kill this thing quickly, get towards the rear, pump into the engine block, and you're going to penetrate with every shot. Now, that's it for the numbers section of the video. Let's get into some PvP warfare. I'm going to pause the video here, wait for the map to get loaded in, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, Port Storm. This is going to be a tough match for me, because I'm in a tier 4. The team consists mostly of tier 5s and 6s. The vehicles that I can penetrate are BMD2s, Leopard 1A5, T-72s I will definitely be struggling with. BMP 1P, I might be able to penetrate that one. Of course, Kvastikas, M109 and LAV are easy. T-64 probably, but it won't be easy. Now, this thing carries the tag main battle tank, but I'm going to be using it as a sort of second line vehicle, because I simply don't have the armor to stand up to any kind of the MBT 70s or the tier 5s that I might be dealing with in the harbor. So I'm going to take up a position along the western line here, trying to get a decent firing position to get a shot at that ridge, where there's usually one or multiple IFVs or AFVs to fire at. course, it's the usual traffic jam here in the harbor. Typhoon 2, T-72 Ural going north. ERC there, Leopard 105 taking up a sniper position along the western flank as well. Not really too sure what these guys are doing here. Somebody dragged a Leopard 1 into this battle by the looks of it. And I think that that's just that platoon. Platoon A. The OF-40 and the Leopard 1 seem to be, I don't know, making out in the harbor there. They're not actually doing anything useful. There's the LAV. Already took a shot, probably from the Leopard. Now, watch this. I'm going to switch the camera around, and I'm looking over this ridge, but you can still pretty much see that Commander's Cathedral right on top of the vehicle. That leaves me vulnerable. And it also leaves me vulnerable in this position because I'm wide open to artillery, and I don't have a good line of sight. I don't have an armored fighting vehicle of my own here to try and spot targets as they come up. So I'm half and half expecting to take a lot of fire here. Now note the maneuverability. It takes a while for this thing to accelerate, and especially in more hilly terrain like this, clambering up this hill at 20 kph, this thing's nowhere near fast, so don't think that you're gonna be zipping across the battlefield. Oh, been spotted. There's probably a BMD-2 back there. That's a BMP-1P. Let's see if he's gonna stick his nose out so that I can hurt it. I rather doubt it. Yep, this autocannon fire bouncing off the ERC-90 there. Now again, I might be playing this thing a little bit defensively, like a tank destroyer. The reason is that I'm nowhere near capable of dealing with MBT-70s, at least not frontally. This LAV seems to want to come out and play. Perfect for me. Oh, come on, let me get a shot. No, he already died. Okay. And yeah, I still need to get up on this ridge in order to do some damage. And he's already out. Wow. I'll be lucky if I can get a single shot off before everybody goes down. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to push up. Let's put up some smoke. You can see that autocannon fire does go through the flank of this vehicle. And I have a decent amount of hit points, but I cannot just squander them like that. There's a VFM, but the thing that I want to really take shots at... Oh, it's already shooting back at me. Trying to get a good angle here. Trying to hide my lower hull behind the... Oh, not really working out as well as I hoped. Yeah, throw already on my head. I got lucky there. That should have really hurt me. Come on. Fire. That really cut him in half. Now, let's see if I can do that again. If only that Leopard would push across, but I understand why he's not pushing across. He doesn't have the armor. Not against the combined firepower of two autocannon wielding BMD-2s. Those can do a lot of damage very quickly. Come on. Yep, he's out. Alright, up to the next rock. Maybe I can get a shot of the VFM. Definitely got spotted. But there are so few targets left. Okay, there's the VFM. Artillery hit me. And the BMD-2 is going to be behind cover by the time that I actually get a shot at it. Artillery's going again. Missed. Not a good shot. Coming about. Aiming, 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 fire. And bounced. No penetration. It's because the VFM has some quite significant armor, at least composite armor, that's going to be relatively effective, as you have seen, in dealing with heat rounds. So I should have probably hit him in the turret. So, that was rather terrible, I gotta say. I just managed to get one shot done. I got hit by artillery, by the VFM, by BMD-2s. Not really my proudest game. And mostly, this is why I don't really enjoy the Starship in PvP games. I just don't think it is as competitive as the OF-40 and the T-64, at least for its tier. Now there is a times 3 modifier going on, and that means that I get 3600 XP for that. For actually doing fuck all, I actually got 819 XP. Maybe I actually got more spotting damage in a main battle tank than damage done. So yeah, let's see if I can get another match to show you what this thing can do in a tier, hopefully a tier 4/tier 3 PvP matchmaking. I'm going to pause it here, wait for the match to come up, and I'll be right back with you. So the matchmaker was a lot kinder on me this time around. I'm top tier in a pretty much completely tier 4 gameplay with a couple of tier 3s thrown in. You can see that a lot of people seem to be going towards the Leopard line, a lot of OF-40s on the enemy team, none on my team. So all of those Leopards got thrown together. One Sheridan, one BMD-1, a couple of M109s, and some AMX-10 P90s. Now the OF-40s in the game, it's good news pretty much, because it means that I have a good chance of penetrating all of those tanks. They don't really have any good modifiers. The rest of my units, I have some T-64s, and I'm hoping that together we can push towards the refinery, because this thing is such a bulky vehicle that I'm very, very unhappy with going towards the open terrain. I would just be tank destroyer target practice. So let's not do that. Leopard's following me, T-64. Other T-64 is going east, unfortunately. Bit of discussion going on in chat about how you can get the Terminator. Right. I think they're talking about the Tier 6 Premium Terminator. It was one of the Founders packs that you could buy. But people seem to be thinking that if you buy that, you must have rich parents. Yeah, well, I don't know. Try and get a job. Maybe you can get the vehicle for yourself. Now, OF-40s have a range advantage on this tank. I'm best at close range peekabooing, whereas they, if they'd have their way, are probably great at sniping. At least that's what I remember from driving the OF-40. It's a very, very good tank at dealing with longer range encounters. Just got spotted there. I didn't actually see anything myself. It's usually not a good sign. Object 430. Oh, it might have been the Sheridan that was spotting me. Sheridan's very easy to penetrate. It has pretty much the same gun as I do. But it's not coming out to play just yet. With just myself and these other 3 tanks here, I'm taking it careful. I don't want to be too aggressive here. Oh, there's the 430. Very well angled. Did manage to hit him. And his return fire of armor penetration didn't really do that much. So he's out. Let's move up. You can see turret traverse takes a while for this vehicle. It's a very large turret, so don't expect it to snap around like you're an AFV. Take your time to swing the turret around before you actually get to an engagement. This guy might pop up. Oh, his buddy did. Very, very large hit there. 641. This is pretty much the other side of how the Starship can work. Sometimes you get those games where you're thrown in high tier, sometimes you get games like this, which are significantly more enjoyable, because you can actually make a severe difference. Oh dear. T62 might come around. I think I got spotted, possibly by the BMD. I don't want to be too aggressive and get hit by the BMD again, because those things definitely hurt. There's T62. There's also an OF40 behind me. Yeah, I'm not going to peekaboo with those guys. I'm going to turn around and deal with these tanks. Because there's just too bloody many of them. Good hit. And, oh, BMD bounced. That was lucky. That thing pretty much should have killed me. Now if the OF40 comes out again, I'm going to be able to fire at it and kill it. And he does. Now we need to really quickly get the hell out of here. Forward's pretty much the only way. Hit him. Now they locked my turret into place. The gun is active, but I just have to manually swing the tank around. Come on, turn, 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 and fire. Target down. There. I'm somehow not getting shot in the back. Oh shit. And here is another O40 coming out to play. 12 hit points left. Who needs more? Yep, somehow I'm still alive. Somehow I'm still alive. And yep, he got me. My aim time was too high in order to return fire. So I possibly could have killed him with one shot, but his aim time is just faster. Still, I did 3,500 damage, near enough. Probably some spotting damage too, and my team's just clearing up the survivors. I'm gonna pause it here, wait for the results screen to come up, and I'll be right back. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. 2300 XP, and that's without a double or without premium stuff. Or of course I do have a premium account, but not a premium commander or a ×3 modifier. I actually got the recon medal, which means I spotted the most targets on my team. Which again, for a main battle tank, is pretty... I'm not going to say it's pretty unusual, but it's not really my job. Also got the gold medal for getting the most reputation. And the AMX 10P90 there almost got as much damage as I did. But apparently I spotted a lot more targets than he did. Now the armor wasn't that effective this round. I mitigated 660 points of armor. Damage. So I could have died sooner. I think I should have died sooner. I was pretty lucky there with all the things I got away with. And I managed to get 117,000 credits. Let's round it down. Pretty good for a tier 4 match. Now if you're not into PvP, let's have a look at the PvE match, because those can be quite interesting to play as well. At least if you're looking for something that can almost one-shot the bots that you're going to be going up against, this is what you want to be using. Again though, keep in mind that in PvE, bots can spawn everywhere. And they usually do. So what can happen is that they're going to spawn pretty much behind you. And if that's an autocannon vehicle, you're going to take a lot of damage. So make sure you try and cover your ass, literally. Or that you have a teammate behind you that is going to be providing you with a bit of cover. Operation Direwolf. So we're tasked with defending the town as well as destroying the tanks at the roadblocks. Unfortunately, the roadblock's all the way over in A0. I'm not anywhere near enough fast, or nowhere near fast enough to get there and back to the main battle. Not at 48 kph, which I can barely make. So I'm not going to go there. Instead, I'm going to hope that Daniel, in his BMP 1P, is going to go there and try and get that secondary completed. Alright, let's get going. There's another Starship. There's an OF40 and a T62 veteran. Now with my gun depression I might be able to just sit up on the ridge and shoot down at the targets. Because with this gun depression of 10 degrees, look at that, that's not bad. A pretty good view, but usually they spawn down south there where the OF-40 is. Shalanor. Wasn't that one of the guys that, or one of the names of the, I think it was Skyrim or Oblivion? That lore anyway, the gods? Something like that. 569 done to a Sheridan. I doubt I'm going to be able to get a shot on him. Yeah, I'm wasting my time here. Let's push up. Get to where the action is. This BMP, sorry, this AMX-10P is in for a surprise. Slow down, and boom. Wait for it to cross the corner. Alright. Sheridan down there. Took a bad hit, and he's out. You can pretty much see the lower amount of damage from the OF-40 go in, and then get followed up by a high amount of heat damage from the Starship. I'm just gonna close in on this guy. And engine block. Oh! Track shot. He returned fire. Went right through my front. Lower frontal plate might work. Got him 450, but he did a total of 460 damage to me. Exactly the same amounts of damage too, so that's a bit peculiar. Next objective. Defend Delta 2. Let's hope there are some juicy, lightly armored targets that I can shoot at for full damage. I was thinking that other Starship went AFK. It's not doing anything. Okay, don't derp your shots like I did. Make sure you're either fully zoomed in or that you're right in front of the target. Because the way that I fired at that thing, I should really have hit it. 438, object 155 to the north. I'm not sure what he was doing, but he also seemed to have fired on the move quickly. Dark down, 500 damage. How am I doing on damage? Not too bad. Not too bad. Aiming, loading, kill. Aiming, still loading. Still loading some more. Kill. That's the roadblock down. Still 90 seconds left on this objective. Usually some targets seem to spawn around this corner here. MX-10P. Oh! Again, not fully zoomed in. Didn't mean to derp that shot the way I did. I'm gonna go for the Super M60. Because I'm going to do more damage to him than I can do to the Begleitpanzer. The reason for that is that for some reason you cannot one-shot targets, but you can ram kill them. That means I would not have done 500 damage to the Begleit, probably along the range of 200 and something. Whereas you just saw me do 500 damage to the M60. Target down. Currently sitting on 3900 damage, along with the BMP-1P. He also did a lot of damage. Now let's see if we're going to see any more targets. They sometimes spawn up close here, and they can pretty quickly overwhelm you. See, this is a salvage Begleitpanzer, but I don't seem to have a good shot at it. No, never mind. I'll take the Scorpion instead. Scorpion is a beautiful target for this vehicle. Lightly armored, very easy to penetrate. He docked his shot right into the ground. Leopard, aiming, loading. 642 damage, and I damaged his ammo rack. He's out. Starship down there is out as well. Usually there's some artillery spawning there, but I'm recording this in patch 0.11, which means there's no randomized bot spawning. It's pretty clear where they are going to be. That will change in 0.12 and later, so by the time you're watching this video, they might not spawn at locations where they are now. Lower frontal plate, 521. Pretty much waiting for the OF-40 behind me to take the kill. There you go. Shalnor got him. Gvozdika, 17 hit points, not really worth my time. But why not? I have a shell loaded. As you can see, I am running out of shells. I still have 5 left. With my reload of 11 seconds, that means that if I fire continuously, which I rather doubt, I'm going to be running out of shells very soon. Big damage there. Autocannon fire on the front is not very effective. Let's take him out and just try and ram this guy. Nope. Okay. Pushing up. Let's get the M60. If he's not dead by the time I get there. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Firing. Kill. 90 seconds and 2 rounds. I see a problem. There's another Starship. It was just casually parked there. Fired, and I dunked the shot into his tracks. Really shouldn't have done that. Next weapon I'm going to load is the Shillalag missile. Maybe I can get another shot at a target. No, actually we got the objective. As you may have seen, I didn't fire the missile. That's because the missile, for me, is a last resort weapon. I only fire it when I have absolutely nothing else in my arsenal that can do damage, which is not usually the case. The heat round, especially in PvE, is usually more than enough to do damage. And since it reloads a lot faster than the missile, you're better off firing heat rounds because you can fire about 5 per minute than 3 ATGMs per minute. So that's the reason that I'm not firing ATGMs. Results, 7,500 damage done. That got me the blue star for the highest reputation. Shooter, hit 80% of shots. Target, I received the most shots. That's because the autocannon was pounding on the front of this tank. And I got the teamwork for no friendly losses. As you can see, most XP, quite a bit more damage than the second damage dealer, this OF-40. I'm not sure what that other Starship was doing, but I got pretty much 4 times as much damage as he did. So maybe he wasn't upgraded yet, or he's not familiar with the map layout. As you could see, I did not get as much XP, or sorry, as much credits as I got in that PvP match, where I got 117,000. But still, 36, it's not bad, it's just not going to grind you very quickly. If you want to grind XP fast, go to PvE. If you want to grind credits fast, go to PvP. At any rate, I hope that with this review you got a bit of an idea of how you can play the OF-40. Again, I'm not saying that my way is the best way or the only way to play this tank. It's just that this is the way that I found this tank to be playable and to be reasonably effective with it. I won't be sticking to this tank. I don't think it's that fun to drive. And I can use the credits to get some more upgrades for my more expensive vehicles up there. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. If it was useful to you, please hit like. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And if you're not subscribed yet, be sure to do so because I have new content coming up every day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.